Hey, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm the host of the Best of Us Investors. I live in Birmingham, Alabama, but as you can see, I'm actually at the beach. It's about 5 hours south of Birmingham. This is what we call the Emerald Coast, and this is one of the hottest areas in the United States for, I guess, beach living. Wall Street Journal did an article on the Emerald Coast just about a week ago. I think it was a week ago Saturday, and this is an area that I came to first time in about 1987, and this video is all about recognizing undervalued assets and then investing in them in whatever means to maximize your return on investment and achieve the ultimate goal of what my channel is all about, and that is building wealth. We have a goal at this channel within the tribe of accumulating $24 million worth of wealth that we can pass on to our family so that we can make a difference. Our first goal is to make good investment decisions. The second is to keep more of what you make. And the third is to pass $24 million on to your heirs by creating family wealth. This is a place that we came, I guess it was first in 1987. The land I'm sitting on right now is a hotel. It's watercolors, and this is the beach club. I could have bought this piece of land here as a lot for about $30,000 in 1987. As it is in its current state, as the beach club of watercolors, it's worth millions. Down the road here, I could have bought a cinder block house on the beach, again for about $30,000. That house is now gone, and it's been replaced by, I would guess, something in the neighborhood of a $8 to $10 million home. The question is the asset going to become worth more in the future? Is it peaked out? I'm not really sure, but I think there's an opportunity to learn here, to learn from my mistake of not buying it, and to learn how you recognize assets that are going to grow in value and make you wealthy. Now, the other element of that is that can be done in the stock market by recognizing what's going to happen with the accumulation of data and the future of data in the world and what companies are going to benefit from it, or as in real estate here, buying an asset, putting a mortgage on it, and writing off the interest and potentially making some rental income, but then also depreciating it. And then once you have maximized what you think the appreciation is, you sell it and you put it into a 1031 exchange, which allows you to pass or not pay capital gains on it, and you do what is called a like-kind exchange. And we'll get into that a little bit further. But I wanted to show you, just in detail, what this $30,000 lot turned into. So let me step behind the camera and give you some views of what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm on the top level here, and you can see the sun coming up over the Gulf of Mexico. And I'll pan down here, and I want you to notice the dunes that separate the beach from the land mass here, and how this beach club is situated right on the edge of it, even with an infinity pool looking out over it. And then here you get even a better look at the dunes. And this is what protects the homeowners, the landowners, from the hurricanes that come this way. When I first came here, there was nothing here. Now you're going to start to see the beach club itself. So this is a magnificent facility. There's probably about 1,200 homes behind this area where you can buy, and Nita and I are contemplating buying a piece of property here and reinvesting some of our profits from our YouTube channel and putting them into a highly appreciating asset. So this is the beach club. Now what I want to do is take you down the beach to a place where we almost bought a house. Well, I guess it was back in 2005. Okay, I'm at Seaside now. Seaside, you might know, it was in a movie, a 1998 movie starring Jim Carrey. It was called The Truman Show, and a lot of it took place right here. And what the story was that Jim Carrey lived in this community, and it was his life story. What Jim Carrey didn't know in the movie as Truman was everybody else in the movie was an actor, and he was living his real life. So it was kind of an interesting story. That's only half of it, though. This whole area, that was in 1998. The movie was released. The Jim Carrey signed to do it. They filmed it from 1995 through 1997. But back in 1980, late 1970s, this was nothing but scrubland. And down the road is a community called Destin. And there was a gentleman, last name of Pizitz, who owned shopping centers, department stores in Birmingham and several other cities. And he was in a poker game. And it was a high-stakes poker game, and he had a good hand. And it came to the bet, and the guy he was playing against couldn't match the bet. So he said he would put the title down for some land he owned outside of Destin on Highway 30A. Well, as it turned out, Mr. Pizitz won that bet. He then decided he wanted to create a camp for his employees, a place down at the beach where they could come and enjoy the community. He put up some tents and whatever. The community, the employees came down here, found mosquitoes and rodents and everything else, and said, no, I don't think so. So he hired an architect out of Cuba, and he came in and he developed a community. And that's what we have now as Seaside. And in that community, he envisioned that this would be where postal workers or construction workers or his employees would want to come and live in some of the cute little houses with nice front porches, tight little streets on small lots, and enjoy their retirement. Well, as it turned out, you can't buy a small little house in this community right now for anything less than $1 million. And I mean that. And that might be a 2-bedroom, 1-bath little cottage with a living room and dining room and kitchen. So that's what Seaside turned out into. And what I want to emphasize on you, this was an unrealized valued asset. And nobody knew what it was worth until now. And now you just can't buy property here. I want to take you across the street, though, and I want to show you a house that Nita and I tried to buy in 2005. And I want to tell you the story of what happened to it. Okay, I want to tell you about the house sitting across the street, but we got to go back to about 2005. Shortly after I retired as a financial advisor, I decided I wanted to come down here and capture some of the profits and the appreciation that was going to happen here. In 2005, one of the first houses built down there was sitting here. It was a wood structure, a lot of rustic wood, and I made an offer on it for $750,000. It didn't go through. As a result of that, I didn't buy it, and I lucked out because 3 years later, the bottom fell out of the real estate market, and the house sitting there lost roughly, I would say, 30 to 40% of its value. So roll the time up a little further, and we're now at about, I would say, 2015. The house that I wanted to buy for $750,000 was torn down, and this house was built in its place. This is probably a $10 million piece of property because I'll show you what its front yard is. It's right on the beach, and so it's one of the prime properties, and it's right across the street from Seaside, where we just were. So my point is, the key to investing, whether it's real estate, whether it's in stocks, is to recognize an undervalued asset and then buy it and increase and then appreciate. The other advantage of real estate is you can buy that house, you can put a mortgage on it, and you can deduct the interest payments against your other sources of income. You can depreciate it at over 27.5 years, which again deducts against your other sources of income. So rather than paying, let's say you have a mortgage payment on this of $10,000 a month, rather than than paying taxes on the $10,000 a month. You're putting it into here, getting a deduction for the interest, getting a deduction for the appreciation, and also then getting the appreciation of the asset. So combining your investments, your sources of income, and recognizing the value of assets when other people don't is the key to getting wealthy. Now, I want to take you and show you these people's front yard. Okay, this is the front of the house. I know you thought this front was on the street side, but actually it's on the beach side. And as you can see, it comes right up to the dunes. Now I want to just kind of pan over here so you can see what the rest of their front yard looks like. This is the Gulf of Mexico. This is what they hear, see, and experience every day. Now we're going to look into the sun as the sun is coming up from the east, and you can see the beautiful beach that is their front yard. And they get to live in it, basically supported by tax deductions and depreciation while it appreciates in value. That's good investing. That's recognizing the value of an undervalued asset. I could have bought that for $750,000. I conservatively would say right now it's worth $10 million. Now, granted, they put a lot into it. They had to do the improvements. They had to rebuild the house. But real estate-wise, I'd guess that's somewhere in the neighborhood of, maybe 7-8 million, plus the probably 2 million. So right now it's worth 10, and 10 years from now, your guess is as good as mine. So that's my take on investing. We're going to do a lot of talk about real estate and appreciating assets while we're here on the beach, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And oh yeah, because I'm doing YouTube videos, it's tax deductible.